I'm Nate Walker, 34 from Ohio, born on Flatland, where the biggest natural wonder is a water tower with our high school mascot painted on it. 2 years ago, I took a seasonal gig in Iceland, which is like moving from a screensaver to the source code of the universe. My official title is Guest Experience Associate, but what I actually do is work a little wooden counter at the Akureyri airport with a sign that says, "Ask us anything except turning the planet off and on." The print on the accept is optimistic. Day 1. The wind is sideways, the snow looks like someone shook a glitter globe with feelings, and a couple from Florida beelines to my counter dripping meltwater across the tiles like punctuation marks. The wife plants both hands on the wood. "Hi, we paid to see the northern lights at 9 p.m. It's 9 p.m. in America somewhere. We need you to pause the blizzard." I give them my best Midwest customer service smile, the one that says I will absolutely help you after I invent time travel. I say, "Ma'am, I can dim the overheads. The blizzard is still under factory warranty." The husband laughs, the wife squints, and before it turns into a Yelp review with the word unacceptable in caps, I hand them 2 vouchers for hot chocolate. That's our move here. It's like a hospitality smoke bomb, throw cocoa, disappear into kindness. They leave shaking their heads, but already thawing. That was my first hint that my job is less travel desk and more translator English to nature and nature back to English. A little later, a group of students rolls up all phones forecasts and matching beanies. One of them, a girl with neon hair and a NASA patch, asks very earnestly, "Do we need to book a time slot for the rainbow?" I say rainbows are gig workers. They log on after rain. No badge check, just patience. "Okay," she says. "But is there a package where the colors are like extra saturated?" Sure, I tell her it's called shooting in RAW. She writes it down like I just revealed a secret menu item at the Sky. That's the vibe all season. People think I have the universe on Bluetooth. I don't. What I do have is a drawer full of little solutions. Wind muff for your phone mic, a paper map in case your battery dies in the cold and Google Maps turns into a decorative coaster. A pocket notebook labeled Perspective Exchange where I ask frustrated travelers to write down one tiny detail they noticed that they'd have missed if the weather had been perfect. Entry Subker 14. A single snowflake landed on my glove and looked like a tiny cathedral. Entry Tzirker 29. I came here to see lights in the sky. Instead, I watched my wife laugh at her hat blowing off. I forgot she laughs like that. It is shocking how often the universe uses slapstick to deliver tenderness. Anyway, mid-season, I get perhaps my favorite question. A 10-year-old birthday kid wants to rent a humpback whale for his party. It doesn't have to jump all the way. He says just a little flipper wave. We can pay extra for a splash. His dad's mortified. I'm delighted. I pull out a laminated migration map with whale routes shaped like a heart and say, "You can't hire a whale. You can write a thank you letter to the ocean and see what it sends back." The kid nods like I gave him the cheat code to kindness. Then there's the influencer who asks for a fast forward button for clouds because my followers hate waiting. I slide her a tiny hourglass. Silence is warp speed for sky. She blinks, actually pockets the hourglass, and no joke goes outside and films herself, just waiting. The comments go feral. I felt my blood pressure drop. More of this content. Nature invented slow TV. We just forgot the channel. Some questions are technical, some are inventive. Do you have a switch to turn the ocean less salty? Only for tears, I say, handing over a water bottle. For the sea, we recommend not drinking it. Can I reserve front row seating for the sunrise? Yes, I say. It's whichever rock you reach first. Doors open whenever you get there. What's -5 Celsius in American feelings? That's, "Oh wow, it's cold," times 3 plus, hug someone you love times 1. If you're single, substitute hot chocolate times 2. And my favorite from an IT guy, "Do you have the Y-Sky password? I'd like to unlock the cloud layer." I write patience and hot chocolate on a sticky note. Later that night, he runs back in, eyes lit up. "Dude, it worked, it didn't. The wind shifted, but also maybe it did. Not everything is cute. 4 straight days of rain will bruise even the most optimistic itinerary." One afternoon, a little crowd forms at my counter with that hurricane on TripAdvisor energy. A woman at the front says, "We deserve compensation for sunsets." I want to roll my eyes. I don't. I pull out the perspective exchange notebook and a handful of cards I made during a slow shift, little challenges with checkboxes. Card 1. Find a beautiful sound in this weather. Examples: boots on slush, laughing at a hat, the zipper of a borrowed coat. Card 2. Give away one hot drink. Yes, you can be the hero. Card 3. Name a thing you thought you came for. Then name a thing you actually got. People look skeptical, but they take the cards. 20 minutes later, the lobby is buzzing, not with complaint, but with stories. A guy says the rain made the mountains look like they were exhaling. A grandmother says the wind gave her 20-year-old hair back for 5 seconds, and her husband blushed like it was 1978. We run out of cocoa. Nobody runs out of things to notice. That night, my phone buzzes. It's a video call from my grandma back in Ohio. She's in her kitchen wearing that apron with strawberries on it that looks like a sitcom prop. "How's the job, Nathan?" "It's weird," I tell her. "I thought I was selling tours. I think I'm selling the ability to stand in front of huge things and not freak out." She laughs. "When I was a girl, the wind on the lake didn't ask our permission. But when we smiled first, it seemed to be kinder. Smile at the weather. Then decide how mad you want to be." The next morning, I bring a black marker and replace the little sign above my counter. It used to say, "Ask us anything except turning the planet off and on." Now it says, "Nature doesn't work for us. It shares with us if we're polite." Business stays brisk. The questions don't get smarter, they get sweeter. Is there an app to schedule rainbows? Yes, it's called Rain. Comes bundled with Sun. Requires Patience OS. Do you ship sunshine internationally? Pickup only at Windows. Can I get an itemized receipt for a sunset? Sure. Line 1 light. Line 2 color. Line 3 a moment you'll think about on Tuesday. Somewhere in week 10, I push the counter closer to the sliding doors so I can see more sky on my breaks. I start wearing these goofy glow-in-the-dark stickers, little green swirls I cut from reflective tape Aurora membership, I tell people. Member perks: premium disappointment and deluxe surprise. We are, by the way, in a real drought of northern lights. The forecasts keep promising the clouds keep RSVPing first. Every night at 9, a crowd gathers by the windows, and we all do this ancient ritual called refreshing the app. Nothing. On night 99, yes, I'm counting, the airport is quiet. I step outside with a mug, the kind you hold with 2 hands, because adulthood is mostly about inventing reasons to hold warm ceramics. The sky is a single sheet of gray. I can feel everyone's hope getting sore from all the stretching. And then the universe clears its throat. If you've never seen the northern lights appear, imagine someone drawing a line across the sky with a luminous pencil that only works when you gasp. It starts as a thread, then a ribbon, then a curtain. We don't scream. We forget how. Even my influencer friend lowers her phone like a pilgrim putting down a souvenir. The birthday kid, he's back. He's always back, grips my sleeve. Mr. Nate the whale didn't show up, but the sky waved. "Yeah, buddy," I whisper. It waved right back. That's the thing about these lights, they don't perform. They visit. It feels rude to talk. When it's over, nobody claps. We just breathe like we've been holding it since the plane landed. The next day is a parade of gratitude disguised as questions. Is there a tip jar for the sky? Yes. It's called picking up your trash. Can I buy those glow stickers? You don't need them. You're already lit up. A couple from day 1 returns with a thank you card. Inside is a photo of them hair-soaked, laughing like the storm is their inside joke. The back says, "We didn't get the lights that night. We got us." Turns out that's what we came for. And look, I am not a saint. I still get annoyed when people try to pay for coffee with US cash and tell me it's real money. I still have to explain that the Tower of London is not Buckingham Palace, that the crescent moon looks different in the southern hemisphere without implying a conspiracy, and that no, we cannot add ice to a $300 bottle of Bordeaux unless you are prepared for a Frenchman to leave his body. But I'm softer now. The job has rubbed the edges off my certainty. One afternoon, a guy storms in, demanding we reset the router on the mountains because his live stream is buffering. I start to give him the speech about remote regions and bandwidth, but then I catch myself and hand him a card from the perspective exchange deck that says try watching with your eyes. He reads it. He goes outside. 10 minutes later, he comes back, cheeks red, quieter. You got any more of those cards, he asks. I need one for my life. That night after closing, I walk down to the fjord and sit on a rock that I've convinced myself is reserved seating. The wind is loud enough to be considered a personality. I think about home, about flat fields and familiar diners and a horizon line that doesn't try to hug you. I love it there. I love this here. Both can be true. That's another thing the sky teaches. You can hold more than one weather at once. I pull the little perspective exchange notebook from my pocket and write my own entry for the first time. Entry stretches were das 92 me. Came to Iceland for proof. Found permission. The world is allowed to be bigger than my plans. I am allowed to be smaller than the view and still belong. A gull screams, which is how gulls say amen, and I laugh alone like a weirdo. It's fine. The mountains don't judge. They've seen worse. On my last day of the season, I push the counter all the way onto the sidewalk. I set out the hourglasses, the wind muffs, the glow stickers. I brew cocoa that tastes like childhood and heat. A woman stops and asks, "Do you ever get tired of telling people to be patient sometimes?" I say. "But patience is just hope with a job. I like assigning shifts." She snorts. "Okay, philosopher." She takes a sip of cocoa and looks up like the sky's telling an inside joke. People come and go. Some take maps. Some take the long way. A kid asks if we can put the sun on a dimmer for his nap. An old man writes in the notebook that he was going to file a complaint about the wind, but his wife's hair flew around her face and she looked 20 again, and he forgot the complaint existed. I pour him another cup for that sentence alone. Closing time. I click off the overheads and leave the sign outside. Nature doesn't work for us. It shares with us if we're polite. I stick my hands in my pockets and step out into the kind of cold that politely informs you of your own breath. I don't know if I'll be back next season. I might. Or maybe I'll work a summer in a national park back home and translate a different kind of gorgeous. But wherever I go, the job stays the same: stand at a little counter between people and wonder and hand out whatever helps them meet in the middle. Maps, mittens, metaphors. At the crosswalk, I do the dumbest thing. I press my palm to my chest like there's a secret switch there. Click. No weather changes. I do. The night is still the night. The wind is still the wind. But I'm suddenly wildly available to it. And I swear just before the light turns green, the darkness leans down and whispers the password again. Patience, hot chocolate. I smile first. The universe smiles back.